My name is Andy Crook, and I'm your host for this training topic all about how to use loss aversion in your marketing messages. My mission is to help garage owners become more successful in business. I aim to go live most weeks on a training topic on one of the 5 pillars of business as I see it. This topic is in the marketing pillar, and it's about how to use loss aversion in your marketing messages. Without further ado, let's get on with this training topic because it's one that's interesting as well as sort of difficult to implement unless you know exactly what you're trying to achieve. And if you want to attract more customers, you need to understand one simple truth. People hate losing more than they love winning. For example, would you, on the toss of a coin, risk £100 to win 150? Would you risk £100 to win 150 on a toss of a coin? I flick the coin. If it lands on heads, you win 150. If it lands on tails, you lose £100. Mathematically, this is a fair bet with an expected value of £25. Basically, how you work that out is you take the 150, multiply it by the odds, which are 50%, and then you take away that result from the £100 multiplied by the odds, which are also 50%, and you end up with the value. The chances are, if you carried on doing this bet to infinity, you would end up £25 better off. That's the kind of the logic of it. But most people would refuse that bet because the potential pain of losing £100 outweighs the potential pleasure of winning 150. And this perfectly demonstrates how people are naturally more sensitive to losses than the equivalent gains. So I often ask this question in a slightly different way, and I basically ask, were you willing to risk 50 pence on the toss of a coin? Heads, I win. Tails, you win. And most people are willing to do it at 50p. If you increase the stake to £50, some people are willing to do it, but less are willing to do it. If you increase the stake to £100, a lot of people start to get a bit salty at this point. And if you increase the stake to £1,000, most people won't take this bet. The only thing that has changed is the stake, the level of risk. The odds have remained the same. They've always been 50-50. And that's the interesting thing. Some people have a higher tolerance or risk threshold than others. But there's a point where most people won't take the bet. That's the premise of loss aversion in your marketing. Most people are far more motivated by the fear of loss than the hope of a gain. And I first come across this concept in a book called Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. It's one of my favorite books. And this is one of the concepts that I've used time and time and time again, not just in marketing, but in various other aspects of business. And what does it mean, though? What does loss aversion mean in a marketing environment? Basically, it means telling your customers that you'll save money by servicing your car is far less effective than saying neglecting your service could cost you thousands in repairs. That's the basic premise of what we're talking about. And the two areas, or the two ways I think that this can be used, and I've seen it used by other prominent marketers and business people, is there's sort of 2 lanes you can go down. You can show them the cost of doing nothing, or you can make the pain of inaction real. So you can show them the cost of doing nothing or make the pain of inaction real. Let's think about showing the cost of doing nothing to begin with. This is something that I've seen time and time again. And that is, most garages list what they offer on their website or on social media. They just list what they offer. Now, to give you an example, I went to a social media page of a business that I know, not my own, to see what they had in terms of the products or services they offered. And sure enough, they had a banner, and on it said, diagnostics, servicing, engines, brakes, exhaust, batteries, and tyres. They had the typical list of service offerings. But if you think of it like this, How many of your customers are waking up in the morning and they're thinking, I need a great oil change today? What they're more likely to think when it comes to their car is, I don't want my car to break down on the school run. I hope my car starts when I go to it. That's more likely what they're thinking. They're probably not thinking about their great oil change. So Donald Miller in Story Brand suggests that businesses should position themselves as the guide in their customer's story. The key is to show them how to avoid failure. Instead of listing what you do, explains what happens if you do nothing. This is a popular concept in marketing once you know that it's happening. I can think of a very famous shock absorber manufacturer who used this exact same policy in their marketing. They basically looked at braking distances and they showed wall shock absorbers and the shock absorbers of their particular brand, and they showed the stopping distance was much reduced. It's not a new concept. It's been around for a long time. Anyone who remembers that advert is probably as old as me. The other thing to think about is making the pain of inaction real. Alex Hormozi, in his fantastic book, $100 Million Offers, says the best way to sell anything is to make the cost of not buying painfully clear. If customers feel like they're actively losing money, they'll take action sooner. So how do you put loss aversion into practice? I'd like you to imagine you're about to post something on social media. So now, instead of just listing everything you offer in the chance that someone out there is thinking about servicing their car at that very moment, one person out of everyone on social media right now thinking about, I need to book my car in for a service. If you've got a social media post that goes out there at precisely that moment that they're thinking about servicing their car, bingo, you might just get someone look at your website or click whatever it is on that social media page. Most people don't have anything to click. They just have the list of services and a picture or a story. What you need to do is paint a picture of what happens if they ignore service intervals or that oil speck on the drive or the little light on the dash. That is far more effective. They're more likely to remember it. So let's look at these two situations. And let's look at a weak message and a strong message. Weak messages would be something like this. Our full service includes a full inspection. Or if you're thinking now, all right, what can we do? We could offer a free safety check. Don't really cut it, do they? Now, a much stronger message would be, skipping your car service might save you a few quid today, but it could cost you thousands if your timing belt snaps or your brakes fail at the wrong moment. Remember to always include a clear call to action. What's a call to action? That's what you want the customer to do once they've read your social media post, your advert, or your web page. What do they need to do next to get in touch with you? What do you want them to do to get in touch with you? And what you can say is, we check all of those for you, whatever it is that you're saying, your brakes, your timing belt, book in today. And a button, call us now. So if they're on their phone, they click that, it rings you. Click here to book your slot if you've got an online booking system. You can see that the difference now isn't that you're just saying our full service includes a full inspection or book in for a free safety check, whatever that is. You're telling them the cost of doing nothing, which is skipping your car service may save you a few quid today, but could cost you thousands if, etc., etc. Another sort of social media image, you could have a picture, and some of the more effective ones I've seen has a picture of the outcome. Owner of the vehicle looking slightly frustrated on the phone to the breakdown service or whatever it is, looking a bit perplexed or stressed or whatever. In the foreground, broken car in the background. You've probably seen something like this. And so you could have the headline, is your car running on borrowed time? Your car service light is on. The life gets busy, right? We get it. But here's the problem. Delaying a service might feel like you're saving money, but it could cost you thousands in unexpected repairs, fines, and even reduce the value of your car. A clogged oil filter could lead to engine failure, risking 3,000 plus in repairs. Warm brakes increase stopping distances, increasing the risk of an accident. Unchecked tyres, up to £2,500 per tyre fine and £3 on your licence. It is really worth it. Incomplete service history could reduce the second-hand value of your vehicle. Just for the price of a service with you, we'll give your car a full service, catch problems early, and keep you safe on the road. Limited slots available. Book now. Clear call to action. Also, see what we did there. We also added scarcity into the call to action. Limited slots available. Scarcity also increases the chance that someone's going to book or click your call to action. The key to attracting more customers isn't just telling them what you do. It's showing them what they'll lose if they don't act. Focus on the real cost of skipping a service. Position yourself as the guide who helps them avoid disaster and make inaction feel too risky to ignore. Instead of saying, recheck your battery and alternator, try, a weak battery can leave you stranded at the worst possible time. Don't let a flat battery ruin your morning commute, lose you that job. Great picture here, someone, phoning for a jump start, holding their CV, something like that. You get the image and the idea that I'm trying to portray. We'll check it for you during every service. Ignoring that small oil leak? It might seem harmless now, but it could lead to catastrophic engine damage that costs thousands. Call us today and we could save you a massive bill later. They're just some examples of how to flip on your head the way you probably do your marketing now, which is you tell them what you do instead of what they'll lose if they don't take action. So the atomic action this week is to flip your messages from what you do to what they'll lose if your customers do not act. Great idea is to start with the social media post, make a tweak and measure the results. You do measure the results of your marketing, don't you? Yeah, I know you do. Because otherwise you don't know what you're doing is working or you're wasting your time. Add stories to your blog to show your customers how other customers avoided expensive failures. It's just documenting what you do every day. Turn it into a story and show what could happen if they don't take action or how this customer saved thousands because, etc., etc. Once you find the winning formula, use these powerful messages in your paid ads. Try this approach and watch your bookings increase. Remember, what's stopping you is starting, and if you should, you must. Quick tip, if you are using loss aversion in your marketing, don't make every post a loss aversion post. Also include good news stories. Don't always make it bad news. If I've made you think even a little bit how you approach your marketing messages, then I've done my job. See you next time. Thanks for watching.